It's our reality, just your average family trying to be normal and stay out of trouble, living a double life.
What's up? Today we got Thunderman's Season 2, Episode 20, Cape Fear. This episode starts off in the living room where Phoebe says her life is ruined, and Max says, he wanted to do that. Phoebe says about how her friend Christine from Metroburg just got her superhero cape and had a cape ceremony. How is she getting her cape after Christine? Her superpower is super hearing. That's so lame. Then Max gets a text saying. Then Phoebe gets a text revealing that Christine does her heard what Phoebe said. So and Phoebe says, I think she heard that. Yeah. Hank comes in telling Billy and Nora to do their homework so that they can enjoy the weekend. Phoebe says, yeah, Billy and Nora like cool cape, and then Barb says, Christine looks so cute in her superhero cape. Hank says her parents must be so proud. Like they've not been proud what Phoebe's doing. Hashtagging, stopping, shopping, YOLOing. Phoebe says Phoebe's been crushing it. Phoebe says, okay, yeah. She kind of feels bad that she slowed down on her superheroing in Thundervan, and now it's coming back. So she says she supposed if she had chosen to focus more on her superhero training rather than getting her superhero cape, she'd have her rather than slowing down her superhero training. She'd have her super cape by now. Billy says, just do what he does: tie a blanket around his neck, and say we. Nora says we is the size of his brain. Wow. Okay, I'm really glad they changed Nora's character in next season, because they knew that they could not keep her being a roast machine forever. Barb says, Billy, these are special capes. The Hero League awards them to you. Phoebe says it's a part of becoming a full superhero. You also get access to weapons. Then later you get your own hero name and a super villain to beat up. She hopes she gets Max. Max says you can't handle all his evil, and then drinks a juice box, but then chokes on it and spits it out. Yep, that's Max for you. Phoebe, yeah. Hank says maybe it's not too late. The Hero League has still one more cape to award this year, i.e. 2015, because that's when this episode came out. And Hank says has been looking into the. It's not like Hank's been looking into the daily databases. Phoebe says Phoebe could get her. Phoebe says getting her superhero cape would be awesome. Before they moved, it was all she could dream about. That and ice skating with Channing Tatum. Which is kind of a good reference that they haven't mentioned Phoebe's love for Channing Tatum in a while. Nora says she and Billy want that she wants a superhero cape, and Billy says he does too. Hank says it's never too early to start their superhero training. They gotta earn it. So lots of training and admirable superhero behavior. Nora says, oh, like catching someone when they fall. Says Billy fall. It says Billy fall. He says, and then she'll catch him. He does, she doesn't, and then blames Phoebe for not catching him, which is kind of classic Nora behavior, or season 1 to 2 Nora behavior. Then, yeah, after the opening, in the Thunder House, Phoebe says, who just used her freeze breath to save Himmelville's woodland creatures from a brush fire. She's gonna get her cape to Christine. Then Max gets a text saying, Christine says Phoebe doesn't have to yell. Max says if he wants to do a good deed, help him find Hank's wallet. He's playing buck for the party. Phoebe says, the party? Wait, that's tonight? She told her friend she was going. And Max says, how could she forget about the first ever secret rooftop party in Hiddenville High School history? It's illegal. It's illegal. It's unsafe. And he can't wait to go. Phoebe says she can't go. If Hank and Barb found out that she went to that party, they would never let her accept the superhero cape. Max finds Hank's wallet, although there's not like dancing on a rooftop. So Max finds Hank's wallet. Wait, no. Max finds Hank's wallet and Phoebe says, although there's nothing like dancing on a rooftop after a brush fire. Max says, welcome Bank of Hank, and leaves. As Phoebe says, give her 5 minutes change, but sees Max laugh. And says, see him then, and then that's when Barb and Hank show up, scaring Phoebe. Barb says, what's Phoebe out? Phoebe was out saving the world. She sees, and Hank says, she'll be happy to hear that all of her good deeds have been reported to the Hero League. It won't be long before Super President Kickbutt calls. Barb asks Phoebe where she's going, and Phoebe lies, saying that she's going off to rescue a beached old person and help whales cross the street. Okay, that was funny, but that doesn't get an I love Phoebe moment. It doesn't get one because I don't think there'll ever be a I love Phoebe moment in this review series. It'll be an always I love Max moment, but that hasn't happened yet, weirdly. Hank says, summon his cape on the brain, and Barb says she's not the only one. They go to check on their junior superhero. Hank asks if Barb saw his wallet, because meanwhile, outside, Billy and Nora are camping, are outside, when Barb asks what they're doing. Billy says they're getting ready to sleep in the wild. Nora says they're surviving a night by themselves in the first step to gain their superhero cape. They both say, roughing it, and cheers. Barb says it's supposed to be a challenge, and Nora says, "Do you know how hard it was? How hard it was to get the mini fridge there?" Hank says it's about surviving. Welcome back. This episode is right back with Hank's characters I don't like. He's egotisticalness, and it comes back by him saying, not to brag, but he set the world record by surviving 3 nights in the wild when he was Billy's and Nora's age. Actually, he was 3 years younger. And Barb says, isn't that the not bragging part? Again, egotistical Hank. I don't know why the artists keep bringing this version of him back. I don't think no one likes egotistical Hank. Yeah. Hank says, it's all about depending on your own skills, not the comfort of home. Billy says he can't hear Hank. He's over the football. Barb turns it off and says, Hank said they can't have all this stuff. Nora says, what can they have? Then it just cuts to them having food and water, because that's his plan. Billy says he can't do it anymore, but Nora says, yes, he can. All they need is a place to sleep. So Nora leaves, and Billy tells Billy to build a fort. Billy speeds around and builds a fort. Billy says he did it. He's Billy, Lord of the Outdoors. Then they hear an owl that for some reason scares them enough to go into the fort. How doesn't I don't know. It's just the episode, but I don't know how an owl scares you when you're going outdoor. They hear an owl, they scream, and they run into the Leaves fort. Meanwhile, at Hiddenville High rooftop party, Max says he hopes Phoebe gets her superhero cape. Phoebe says, oh, let me get his excitement is because he wants access to the superhero weapon. Max says, yeah, here's a list. Phoebe says she'll put it in a safe place, but in reality, she burns it with heat breath. Then we see a guy climbing a ladder. When the ladder breaks, so Phoebe uses her telekinesis. Phoebe says, what should I do? And Max says, save the chips. You have to save the guy because we have to save the chips. So Phoebe uses her So Phoebe uses her telekinesis to save the guy. So he can get up the ladder. So he gets up the ladder. Phoebe says, hope nobody saw it. But Max only cares about the chips, of course, and says, baked chips. You should have let that guy fall. Because Phoebe said, Max says, yeah, but he says he knows the way up. Meanwhile, at Thunder House in Max's lair, Phoebe says they got a mess on their hands. Someone recorded everything last night. If Hank and Barb see it, they'll know it's telekinesis and realize she snuck out to the party. And goodbye, Cape. Or she says bye-bye, Cape, but I like goodbye, Cape better. Max says Hank and Barb are like 70 years old. They don't watch viral videos. Barb comes down and say she just saw a viral video on the morning news. She's going to get Hank and the four of them are going to talk. And she leaves. Goss says, Max forgot about the morning news. It's like the internet for old people, bro. Meanwhile, outside, Billy and Nora are excited that they survived the whole night. Hank says, nice shelter. Of course, his was rainproof. Yeah, basically. Egotistical Hank. I should just keep calling him Egotistical Hank in these scenes. Egotistical Hank says, nice shelter. But his shelter was a rainproof. But what does he know? He only holds the record to celebrate their accomplishment. He thought they would want to see his trophy. They try to touch it, but he says, I meant see the trophy, not touch it. Again, egotistical Hank is back, everyone. We don't like him. Barb says, Billy says, staying outside wasn't so bad. Once they got past the sobbing and figured out where to pee, Nora says, you want to break Hank's record of 3 nights? Billy says, totally, and Hank says, what now? And Barb comes out to tell Hank that they have a problem. Hank says, he knows Billy and Nora won his trophy, and Barb says, it's made for kids. It's made for children. So Hank says, so they leave, but Barb leaves, and Hank says, trophyless people are bitter. Trophyless are bitter people. And they leave. Meanwhile, Barb and Hank are showing Phoebe and Max the video, and Phoebe tries to say it was wind, but Barb says that was not wind, and that's the thunder monitor for an infrared, which is the only time they use this ability, I think. So that's when Hank says, telekinetic waves. Someone better explain what's going on here. So Phoebe says, here's the deal. Even though she did all those great things yesterday, they want to know that Max saved that kid. And then she's like, wait a minute, Max saved that kid? Max says that he would save that kid by being a hero who saved the idiot. Hank says, let him get this straight. Max Thunderman saw someone in danger and saved him. Phoebe says, I think what they're going with. Max says, he get it. They don't think he can do something heroic, but he did. So Hank and Barb celebrate that finally, after 2 seasons, Max's evil phase is finally over. I.e., it's not, but it's not over, but still, but they think it is. So they put up balloons and have a banner that says the evil phase is over and celebrate. But so Barb decides to call the Hero League so that they have to say they have 2 teen heroes in the family, and they leave. Phoebe asks Max what he's up to. Max says he wants to make sure Phoebe gets her cape. In return, she'll give him access to the superhero weapon. Phoebe says she told him that's not going to happen. And Max says, okay, then he'll just tell Hank and Barb that she snuck out to that party. Goodbye. Bye-bye, cape. So Phoebe's like, okay, fine. He can play with 1 weapon for 1 hour. Max gets all excited about this. And Barb says the Hero League was so excited. Hank says they didn't believe them at first. They hung up on them, but then they called back and then they convinced them. The Thunder Monitor alerts to Super President Kickbutt calling. Super President Kickbutt says, Phoebe, they've been impressed with her recent run of superhero deeds. Truly exemplary. Barb says Phoebe is gonna get her cape. Super President Kickbutt says, it's great pleasure. She announces the last super cape of the year is going to Max Thunderman. And they're like, wait, what? Yeah, they're like, wait, what? Yeah. Who's ever been kicked by? Max says, he's getting the last. Max says, did someone say his name? Then he says, he's getting the last superhero cape of the year. He's so honored. Again, I love Max. Phoebe says, this has to be his name. Her name is Phoebe. Phoho. So President Kickbutt says, it's not a mistake. Max's unexpected act of heroism. President Kickbutt says, she'll see them at... Yeah. Says, Max's unexpected act of heroism catapulted them to the top of the list. E-B... And Phoebe says, E-B-E. As in, Phoebe, you should get that cape. Super President Kickbutt says, she'll see him at Max's cape ceremony. And leave. And says, Super President Kickbutt out. And leaves. Hank says he knows it's hard. Phoebe says, but try to be happy for Max. Phoebe says, do they realize Max saved that kid? He went to a party at their school on a roof. Hank says, that's just old Max. And Barb says, you mean the old Max? And Max says, good riddance to that guy. And Barb says, if Phoebe went to that party, she'd be in big trouble. But she didn't, because she's good. Yeah, basically adding more to Phoebe's guilt. That. Hank says now they can say their kids are good. All their kids are good. And they leave to plan the cape ceremony. They leave and Max says he did Phoebe a favor. So now she doesn't have to lend him those weapons anymore because he can just get them himself. She's welcome. Meanwhile, outside, Billy yells at Nora. Nora yells at Billy for eating all the granola and how they're supposed to survive without. How are they supposed to survive without food? Billy says that was food, and Hank tries to get Billy and Nora inside by saying, "Would they like a giant cookie?" He's baked. Billy says yes, but Nora says, "Billy, stop! He's just trying to trick them into going inside, so he doesn't want them to break his record," which is like. Nora says earlier that they told them to do this, which I never remember that Hank and Barb told them that to be a good superhero, they'd have to survive out in the wild. But I don't remember this ever being, like, acknowledged, so this is just a random thing that they just mentioned. Hank says he bakes little cookies inside the big cookie. Billy says, there's little cookies inside, and Nora says they're not playing his Hunger Games, old man. And Hank says fine, then you're not getting the trophy or the cookie. But then he drops the cookie. Meanwhile, in Max's lair, Phoebe's trying to find something to prove Max is still evil. He'll never get that cape, but she will. Costa says Max. She won't find anything. Max has covered his tracks. He's become the new face of Reform Team Villain, as he has a poster of teamwork and a pic and a hang in there and Phoebe says Max, if Max was so formed, why is he hiding this poster under his Dark Mayhem poster? And she rips it off to see it's just hiding a poster of Max as a puppy. Max shows up and Colossus says, Max, you gotta stop. If a reformed villain pretends to be good, they'll totally pretend to be good. They'll start pretending to be good. Something about Colossus and Santa Claus. It's Colossus thing that happened to Santa, but who knows? But yeah. But that's the show's thing now. I love Santa. But anyway, that's the show's thing. Max says he's told Colosso that he's acting like this until he gets the weapon. Max leaves and Colosso says Max is taking it too far. Phoebe says with her help, she can make him go a bit farther. Then she leaves and Colosso says, come back. Max always tells him his plan. Always tells him his plan. Moving on Max's cape ceremony, Phoebe says Max is actually becoming good. Phoebe telekinetically slides a coaster on Max's drink to make Max think he put his drink on a coaster, because that's Phoebe's whole thing. She's not trying to sabotage Max, thinking that if she sabotages Max, they'll think he's so evil, and she'll get the cape, which is like, her plan kind of fails, because even though she tries to sabotage Max, her sabotaging of Max makes Max look more heroic to everyone else. So, yeah, it's just, she's sabotaging him, which is making him look better in the eyes of everyone else. Which is kind of like her, not a very good plan, but yeah. Then the thunder monitor alerts them that the cable technicians are approaching. Hank says he knows who this is, and the cable technicians put a device on the table that makes sure the year is okay for Super President Kickbutt and her daughter Simone Kickbutt to enter. Yeah, this is the only two appearances of Simone Kickbutt, the daughter of President Kickbutt. Yeah. She only appears in this episode, and then in season 3, episode 17, shoots and splatters, and then we never hear about her again. So, Super President Kickbutt says, yeah, Hank says, Super President Kickbutt, it's a pleasure. And Super President Kickbutt says, it's a tremendous day for the Thunderman family. Super President Kickbutt asks Simone why she didn't wear a super suit, and Simone says she isn't the president of her closet, and leaves. Super President Kickbutt says sorry for her daughter. Simone has a bit of a dark side, and she's helping Max kind of enlighten Simone. Yeah. Barb says Max is enlightening them every day since yesterday. Hank says he's probably wondering where Billy and Nora are, but literally the Super President Kickbutt proves that she has no idea who Billy and Nora are, by literally saying who. Yeah, it's kind of funny that she knows who Phoebe and Max are, but she has no idea who Billy and Nora are, which is kind of funny. Yeah, she says who, and then, wait, she says who. And Hank says he'll probably want to meet them. So he goes outside to let them know she insisted to bring them inside. Phoebe says she loves President Kickbutt's hair, but President Kickbutt says, yeah, Max is still getting the cape. And she says, good thing. Okay. So outside, Hank tries to tell Billy Nora that Super President Kickbutt there, but Billy's like, really, bro? Super President Kickbutt's here? Really? And then she's like, yeah, she's here to bring Max his superhero cape. And they're like, nice try. We're not buying into that. And we're totally gonna beat your record. Yeah, I understand why they don't believe him. Like, literally, in the last scene, he tried to buy them with a cookie. Of course, like, he comes back out, and they obviously think it's a trap. And obviously, they know Max, so they know he would never get a superhero cape. So that's why they're laughing it off, that why would Max, of all people, get a cape? So, yeah. Meanwhile, Super President Kickbutt says Colosso, and Colosso says Evelyn, kind of hinting that she and Colosso had a rivalry of some sort. Phoebe uses telekinesis to make Simone trip, and Max catches Simone. Simone flirts with Max, and Max just brushes her off. I.e., this Simone never has in Simone's next appearance, she never acknowledges her crush on Max ever again. So, what was the whole point of this? Why am I mentioning it when this whole her not having a crush on Max thing doesn't happen until our next appearance? I'm just saying. The writers dropped this storyline as Max brushes up. The writers brush off this storyline, brushes off Simone liking Max as Max brushes off Simone. Yeah. Then Phoebe says, good catch. His hero instincts really kicked in. Really fast. Max says, those weren't his hero instincts. Those were his supervillain pretending to be a hero instinct. He's in character. And Phoebe says, or is the character in you? Max says, he'll never be good. Then Max throws Barb's ham out the window and he sees he threw it to Billy and Nora, and they say Max is a hero. Phoebe says, even when Max is trying to be bad, it turns out to be good, and Max tells Phoebe to get out of his head. Super President Kickbutt says, like in this scene right here, tells Max that they are bestowing on Max's superhero cape. Max is not going to happen, President Stinkbutt. And then Colossus says, he used to call her that too. Yeah. Barb. Yeah. And Barb says that Max has cape fear. Roll credits. Because that's literally the name of the episode, so I like it when this is the first. I think this is the first time when the Thundermans have actually done a meme. But anyway, yeah. Barb says, he has cape fear. Put on the cape for his mommy, and Max says, no way. He's an evil Max Thunderman, and he's so evil that that Super President Kickbutt is going to take him to the weapon. Super President Kickbutt says, Max realizes he's making a horrible mistake. Max says, zip it, Evelyn. Then Simone says, Kickbutt, and kicks Max all the way up into the sky, kicks Max through the roof. So hard that he lands in front of Billy and Nora. Billy and Nora, for some reason, get scared by this. They run inside. Egotistical Hank gloats at them, saying that they didn't they only had 2 seconds off of breaking his record, and then says, so sad, so sad. Then Nora lasers his trophy, which is deserved, and they leave, saying the exactly thing. President Kickbutt says, what a madhouse. And Phoebe says, she can't agree. So when's her cape ceremony? Should they schedule it, or they should do it now? And then Simone and then Super President Kickbutt says she's giving the last super cape of the year to the person who just saved her life, Simone. Yep. And then Phoebe says, wait, what? And she's like, yep, Super President Kickbutt out, and they leave. So yeah. So Max comes back in and says Barb he wants some ice, and Barb said, like, don't Barb me. Max, you just embarrassed this entire family. And then Max is like, me? What about Phoebe? She's the one that really saved that kid. She's the real embarrassment. And then Hank's like, yeah, basically exposing Phoebe. And then Hank's like, excuse me. And then Phoebe tries to blame it on, he must be delirious from getting his butt from the butt trauma. So, of course, Phoebe then reveals to Hank and Barb what she did. And then Barb is like, Phoebe, why? Why did you let Max take the fall? Why did you let Max take the credit? And Phoebe's like, because she didn't want them knowing that she snuck out to the party. She really thought she lied. But she really wanted her superhero cape, and she also wants to about her dancing on a rooftop. Hank says she's been dancing on another rooftop, and Barb says, I'll handle it. Barb says part of being a superhero is juggling her hero life with her regular life, and she'll get her cape. It may just take a little longer, or until a season, or until a season premiere. Hank says there'll be another rooftop party on their roof. She has to patch out the Max-shaped hole while Max sits and watches. Phoebe says, sits and watches? What kind of punishment is that? Then Hank says, Max, sit. Then Max says, ow, his butt. And they just look on. And that's how the episode ends? Like, what? What a random way to end your episode. They just look on at Max's in pain, and how the episode ends. Nothing is resolved. We never find out if Phoebe ever patched up the Max hole. We never find out how Max recovered from a butt injury, and also when Max, and of course Max never gets his weapons, but this episode was so weird. I know it's the first episode of Thunderman's episode where they actually say the title of the episode in the episode, but yeah. And also, again, what happened to the Thunderman cave on the last episode? That thing's never referenced or mentioned again. And also, I forgot to mention that in my my small mall crooks episode, or Mall-Time Crooks episode, I forgot to mention that, yeah, when Madison left after taking that picture of Phoebe and Max being thrown out of the mall, that's the last time we see her. I forgot to say that. Then I looked and I said, oh yeah, right. Mall-Time Crooks is the last time we ever see Madison on this show. And even though that's also the last time we see Ashley on the show, I should have mentioned it, but I forgot. So yeah, after Mall-Time Crooks, we never saw Ashley or Madison again, which is really weird because the way that Ashley left kind of makes sense because her mom called her, but the way that Madison leaves is that she just walks off, never to be seen or mentioned again, which is still really weird. But this episode, really good. It starts off the Phoebe wanting her cape storyline that she eventually gets in the season 3 premiere after the events of what she does after what she does in the season 2 finale. She eventually gets her cape because of those events. But it's super weird that in this episode that some brother and Cake Butt said that Simone gets the last cape of the year, but then Phoebe gets her cape in the season 3 premiere. So was that the last cape of the year? Was she just saying that to troll Phoebe? We never know. Or did Phoebe actually get a special cape for her save in the season 2 finale? We'll never know. Max does get his cape in the season 3 finale, which is really weird. But this is not about that. That's not about that big spoiler. This is about how weirdly Phoebe said that she's getting her cape because it's the last cape of the year, but then Max gets it, but then Simone gets it, but Phoebe still gets a cape by the start of season 3. So did Simone actually get the cape of the year? Was that the cape of the year? We'll never know. The writers never explain. Like Phoebe never says, "Oh, this is the cape of the year." She just gets all excited about having her superhero cape. It's just never explained if Simone actually got the cape of the year, or if Phoebe just got a special cape because of what she did at the end of season 2. We'll get to that episode, and we'll get to how that plot point makes no sense in season 3, but aside from that, yeah, this is season 2, episode 20. Yeah, even though this episode would have originally ended season 1, we still have 20, 21, we still have 21, 22, 23, and 24. 4 more episodes left of this season. And technically 5 if you count because the finale is a 2-parter. If you count, because the finale is actually a 2-parter. So, yeah. If you count it, it's actually 4 episodes left. But if you count the second half of A Hero Was Born, it's actually 5 episodes left. But yeah, we're on the stretch. We're almost done this season, and we're almost to one of actually my favorite seasons, season 3. So yeah, and I definitely will do a anyway, that's it for this video, and I'll see you next time for the next episode, Call of Lunch Duty. Yep. Max pranks again. Phoebe tries to find out. Phoebe discovers it's him. Bradford wants to find out and believes it's Max, and Phoebe gets stuck as a lunch lady. And Phoebe tries to hang out with Winnie Lee like she did in Parents Don't Understand, but Phoebe would actually become a part of Winnie Lee's friend group until episode 23. So anyway, that's it for this video, and I'll see you next time for a Call of Lunch Duty, which I guess is a reference to Call of Duty, but with the word lunch. But anyway, I'll see you next time.